like I said, I've been a little bit under the weather for the past 4 days. So if not, are we good? Okay. Okay. So I was meant to be with you last week, and for some reason I couldn't make it. So we have to shift the meeting to today. And even today, I discovered that it's very tough for me. I just have to make sure that I make it so that it won't be why are we postponing and postponing. So we have to talk about deliveries and delays in allocation. And what other things? Price. Price? Change in price. Change in price? Yes. I cannot carry that long. We are supposed to be the first point. Okay. So we got challenged. What now, please? So, delay in delivery, allocation, then price. What's the fourth? That's breaking three now. And also development. In some of the housing in Ibeju, Good City, Abuja, that's how much that's but sorry, I expect in the Idera development. Okay, so let me start by the allocation, delay allocation. So far, generally, during the rainy season, things are always slow during the rainy season. Because if you check some other estates too, this time some companies do suspend construction activities because there are a lot of waste of human efforts, waste of resources, materials, and money. So they suspend projects till after the rainy season, then they start the project again. But for us as a company, we try to, since we, 13 years ago, when we started the company, we've not at any point suspend construction activities in our site. Even during the COVID, we were working. The work might be on a slow pace, but we make sure we were always at the site. So, but like I said earlier, the rainy season is really slowing down things. After the rainy season, it will pick up to the optimum level. That's the in the area of allocation. But be that as it may, we are still allocating, maybe on a very low level. And I think the only site we are having challenges with right now is the phase 2. Somebody came to the office and she was not happy with where she was given at the phase 2. She said she was taken to the back of the trophy and on going for the allocation, she was taken somewhere else. So I have to explain to her, and I want every one of you to listen, because it will be a very good, you have a very good way of responding to your clients whenever they ask you about the allocation at the phase 2. Generally at phase 2, we have about 500 acres of land. I want, if you can record, you should record. No? Mm-hmm. Okay, so if you can record, you should record. So if you can record, you should record this. At the phase 2, we have 500 acres. 500 acres of land at phase 2. Starting from the back of the trophy all the way down. But in Ogun State, everywhere in Ogun State, major roads, 1.5 kilometer to the right and to the left is under government acquisition. You know, we have different kinds of acquisition. We have the, acquisition, right? Yes. We have committed acquisition. Then we have non-committed acquisition. You've had these several times. And I know some of you also read online too. So I know some of you always also read online. So we have committed, we have global acquisition. Then we have committed acquisition. If a land is acquired globally by the government, they acquire the land for future purposes. Am I communicating? Yes. So they acquire the land for future use. Global acquisition is for future use, pending when they will determine what and what goes on the land. That is global acquisition. Then we have committed acquisition. If a land is committed, it's an English word, committed. That means that land is committed to a purpose. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So, majorly, what we have in Ogun State on those stretches are global acquisition. So, when a land is under global acquisition, to some extent, some part of the land is subject to ratification. So, when government wants to ratify a land, they have different model. Sometimes they might say, okay, we want to accommodate you. They call it accommodation, land accommodation. Sometimes it's allocation. Most of the time, how accommodation happens is that maybe unknowingly you move into an area, the government acquired area, unknowingly for you, for investors, you acquire the land from the indigenous owners, which are the Omoniles. Unknown to you, you know Omoniles, if they want to sell, they will, it's our forefathers' land, is this, is that. Look at that person that built, But you might have developments in some of these areas, fully built up area, but it's under acquisition. But you are on the land already. There are two things about these properties. As in, I'm trying to digress a little now. We have documents and possession. Documentation and possession. Those are the two major things in land, or land, so to speak. If one of these, Mr. Diola has a portion of land, and unknown to me, that same land was being sold to me by Omonile, maybe the people that sold to him, to Mr. Diola, or another set of Omonile. Mr. Diola bought the land. He got his receipts and deeds from the family. I want you to listen very well, because you might not have opportunity to hear this kind of narration anytime soon, but it will help you a lot in your journey of real estate consulting. So, Mr. Diola bought the land originally from the Omonile. He has his documents from the family. Unknowingly, that same land was sold to me by maybe the same family that sold to him, or another set of Omonile. When immediately that land was sold to me, I moved into the site to take possession of the land. So automatically, he has documentation. He has documents, which is documentation, and I have possession. In this part of the world, possession is always stronger than documentation. I'm not talking legally now,
But we are all Nigerians, and we know how the system runs here. So if I have possession and he has documents, two things. Sometimes, some people are just like, I don't want trouble. I don't want wahala. Mr. Donald met me on the land. What are you doing on my land? What's happened? This is my land. Thank you.
Hello.
So he met me on the land. What are you doing on the land? It's my land now. Can't you see I've built my whatever? Maybe it's even poultry. So, and he's like, this man was sold to me. I'm the owner of the land. So, how come? He brought his documents. But originally, I'm on the land, taking possession of the land. So at the end of the day, if he's not a troublesome person, you might like, okay, what do we do now? And land, if you buy any land this year at let's say 1 million naira, even if the land is inside Bisauduye's village, that's Ijebu, inside Ijebu. You understand? If the land is 1 million today, by next year, the land won't be the same amount. You understand? Yes. So maybe you have taken possession of the land, and maybe after like 3 years, maybe that was when this man was, maybe he was abroad. You just got to know that somebody has taken over his property. And by that time, the value of the land has gone up to like, let's say, originally I got for 1 million. Maybe by that time, the value of the land was at maybe, let's say 2.5. Mind you, when the land was sold to him, I bought at 1 million. There is no way they would have sold the land to him at that same 1 million. Because the reason why money level want to resell any land is when the land has appreciated in value. You understand? So maybe he bought at 500,000. Mind you, I bought at 1 million. Am I communicating? Yes. So by the time he now, maybe after 3 years, he now got back to see that somebody is on his land already. I'm like, okay, Mr. Dola, I'm sorry. So let me see your document. So is this people that sold to you? And this is Oluye's family. And then I bought from Osho's family. You understand? Okay. At the end of the day, we try to look into the matter. And like, okay, you are a gentleman. Don't let us start making trouble. So what do we do? Anyway, the value of the land has appreciated so that it won't be a total loss for you. And this thing is just practical approach. And this is one of the ways by which ArcView have been solving land issues or matters with communities. That's why we get asked by people that for over 13 years, how are you guys doing? We know some people we met in this business, and some of them are nowhere to be found. We know some people that have even met us in business, they are nowhere to be found today. But God is still sustaining ArcView. Am I complicated? Yes. And you see, those guys that whistle out, it's not as if it's intentional or they just want to do people and run away. They make some challenges that they cannot surmount. And most of these challenges always originate from your leaders. They want to mess anybody up. In fact, you get to see them whenever they are having their Ileya and this their festive period. Like somebody just called me about before this last Ileya that hello, is that ArcView? And we have a family land. I said, where? He said, Betuleki, near Dangote refinery. I said, near Dangote refinery. How many acres? He said 5 acres. There is 50 acres. There is no way on earth any family will have 50 acres of land, anything from Chakotedu all the way to Ise. There is no way, as in 50 acres of land, free, untouched by anybody. It's not possible. In fact, you can't even get 20 acres. All the land gets sold, fully sold. In fact, some of the land are being sold and resold and resold and resold. You understand? But for somebody that is so naive, and like maybe you got one brother that is a senator somewhere, or somebody with one drug money somewhere that I've marketed for ArcView for 3, 4, 5 years, and I've seen how it's being done. I went to Sayemi for allocation. I saw he was relating with the Omonile. If I even got the number of the Omonile, you understand? So you want to also start real estate, and before you know it, you go and get money from somewhere, or even use your property to get collateral. You got the money and you go and give it to Omonile. Omonile will use your money to buy Lexus, and they will marry another wife. You understand? So those are the challenges. But what we do as a company is, it's not as if we don't have issues. We have issues. We have issues. But we try to manage those issues so that it doesn't, weigh us down. So, like I was saying, well, try to settle within ourselves now. Okay, I'm like, okay, Sadiola, we bought the land from this receipt that you brought. You bought this land at 500. So if I refund your money, so that you're not making extra on your 500, are we together?
Yes,
Together. So I hope nobody is lost now. So, okay, Mr. Adiola, you bought this land at 500. Okay, what if I refund you your 500? Then you go and just move maybe a little bit further to buy another land. Or you go and meet the Oduye family that sold to you. Because I didn't know them. It was Osho family that sold to me. And Osho family claimed that they are the original owner of the land. You see, sometimes you are buying a particular land and you'll be paying 2, 3, 4 families on the same land. Okay, somebody that's like newly wants to start a real estate business. Maybe Solando now just put up an advert, one big mansion in Banana Island. Somebody just saw the advert and like, I love this property. Called Solando. Okay, Solando, I'm interested. Okay, let's close the deal, get the owner of the property. And he was able to close the property, the deal for 500 million. And normally in real estate, before now, any transaction that is above $1 million is not, any transaction that is below $1 million always 10%. That is below. If it is above, is anything lower than 10%. And if it is more, you can still negotiate further. There's no standard percentage. It varies. It depends on how you're able to close the deal or your conversation with your client. So maybe it just got on 500 million, maybe it just got 2.5% as a commission. You don't look at his bank like, this is money. I want to start real estate. Just went to Epe, go and meet one Omonile at Epe, just give them like, maybe the total I got on as a commission is just about, let's say, 100 million. Yeah. And out of that 100 million, you look at Mr. Fuad. Mr. Fuad, how much did you sell your Lexus? Lexus is 7 million now. One Lexus, just try to push himself up. And at the end of the day, he's having 80 million naira. And he made your money left. He said that this land, the owners, this, okay, he gave them 50 million out of 80 million. He's left with how much? 30 million. Now, after paying and signing, he wants to move to site to start clearing or even to put signboard. As they were putting the signboard, so people just came, what are you doing? They chased them away. And he now called the October that he gave money. That October, something happened. We're trying to put signboard. And so they said, hey, don't worry. I know that money is not mine. Don't worry. I know his father. I call his father now. So after nobody, come back tomorrow. After a week, they still went back, same thing happened. The father said, you know what? Don't mind that boy. When we were sharing the money, his father was somewhere, but the money couldn't reach. Just bring another 10 million naira. So that we go and see. These are the things people face in real estate business. So at the end of the day, they were able to scoop out about 70 million naira out of his 80 million. If that 80 million naira solely belongs to him. He's lucky. If the don't know Mr. Fires and Mercy and Joke, as a, sometimes what you like, okay, let me get people, let me put the answer and let me do this. So if the money solely belongs to him, he's safe. But if he got people involved, that means he has to run away. You understand? That's why people run away in real estate business, because you get messed up by Omonile. So now to go back to where I started from, which is the phase 2 I was talking about. Now, we originally bought the land from Omonile. So you know I talked about 2 types of acquisition. And if you want to, so I talked about accommodation and allocation. That is if the land is under government acquisition. Okay, so now, mind you, I was using Mr. Diola as an example of I have possession, he has documents. I'm stronger in terms of my possessions than, so you understand? So let's now link that arrangement of him having document and myself having possession to an acquired land. Now, this land in question now that we are both dragging is under government acquisition. Are you getting it? For the fact that I have been exercising some rights over the land by having my presence on the land, if I want to go to government can accommodate me into their scheme of acquisition. Did you get that? Yes. Because I'm on the land already, they can accommodate me. You know, by them acquiring the land was acquired for a specific purpose. And I am on the land already, so they can accommodate me to fit into their arrangements, to their scheme. But a virgin land that is under government acquisition, government can decide, okay, I want to allocate this land. If I approach government for allocation, maybe I need 10 hectares of land for a particular purpose, I can approach the government, which is what Lagos State government is doing with or what they did with our Idera scheme. They gave us allocation. They allocated the place to us. But our God City is under acquisition as well. So what they are trying to do for us, because we are on ground, we have taken possession, is to accommodate us. You understand? Yes, sir. So if you are on the land and they look at what you have on the land and they see that, okay, they can accommodate you or it suits their plan, they can accommodate you since we are already on the land. You understand? So they can give you accommodation. But you know, Idera, we're not on ground there. They gave us the land, so they allocated the land to us. So there's a difference between accommodation and allocation. So you need to know that it's very, very important to help you in your journey of real estate consulting and marketing. So, having said that, from the back of the trophy now, the phase 2, we have about 500 acres all the way. Mind you, 1.5 kilometers left and right in the state is under government acquisition. So, from the gate of the trophy to the end of the fence is just 50 meters. Like this, if I do this way, If you measure it, if it's 100, that's 1 meter. As in the measuring tape, from the tip of the tape to 100, that's 1 meter. You understand? The height of this room right now, if you were to measure it, would be around 3 meters. Yeah? So it will be around 3 meters. So 1,000 meters makes 1 kilometer. If I go to any site and I need to do some measurements and there's no tape or survey around, sometimes I'll just do like this. 1, 2. So by the time I'm able to count like 18, I know I'm having 60 by, let's say, 120. Am I making any sense? Yes. So if you want to, like, okay, you want to know, like, the length of a particular road, you can, like, okay, 1, 2. By the time you count 1,000, that means you have achieved 1 kilometer. So 1,000 meters makes 1 kilometer. You know that you all forgot. During our primary, that onward and Olympia, you know. So it's there. So someone they taught us those things when we were young, but because of Agbado and Gary, we all forgot. So from the gate of the trophy to the end is just 50 meters. So we still have another 1,000 meters to complete the government's 1.5 kilometer acquisition. And as a company, there's no way we allocate a committed land to our client. It's not possible. We've never done that, and we won't do that, not at this point anymore. So we have 500 acres. Out of the 500 acres, where we are allocating right now is out of the acquired area by government. Free. That was why we were able to start allocating from there. Now, those areas that is still under the government acquisition, we wrote the government, the state government, and they were ready to accommodate us. They bid us about 1.4 billion or so, and we started paying. We have the receipts. Until when we're done with all the paperwork, there's no way we can allocate that place to our client, because clients, once you allocate them, they want to take possession of their land. They want to start building. If you are trying to process documents, your property documents from government, and the land is still virgin, what you pay to government will be lower. But immediately you have structures on that land, they will come and value what you have on it, and they will charge you based on the development you have on that land. So it's always cheaper to process your paper when you don't have anything on the land. See, these things are very, very important to you. That's why I said you can record through record, so that you go back at the very last time you can play and make some. You understand? So we are paid, and they are accommodating us. Mind you, we originally bought the land from the family, fully paid. Now government is charging us about 1.something billion, and we have to mark up those money on this land as well. So there's no way we can even sell the land the amount we were selling, because at the end of the day, if we were to check it from the government, the land is coming out at maybe almost about 3 million naira per plot, and we marketed that place how much then? 800. Even now, is how much now? 2 million. Okay, now from government, it's over 3 million. And we pay commission, logistics, and the company has to make profit too. So at the end of the day, from the back of the profit, it won't be less than 5 million naira. If, like, eventually we get all the papers and everything, and we want to start selling that place. You understand? So that was the main reason why we have to go all the way back to go and to start allocation from the back, because that place is free from every government appearances. You understand? So that's that on the phase two. There's this woman that came from UK, and I explained to her, and she was happy. She now asked me one question. She said this she doesn't mind to add on that this paperwork, how soon are we expected to get this paperwork out of about 1.4 billion? We've only paid about 4 and something million. We are still left with about 1 billion naira. And now look at what is happening in our country. We will pay, it's not a problem for us because they've given us, they've given us yes, to pay. We will pay. But you cannot put a timeline to it. You know, clients, if they ask you one question and you tell them next week, they will go you by your word. That's why I'm not good to like just hold on. We are not running away. We own this place. There's no way we can abandon this place and run away. Not at this point. You understand? So you can just like this explanation I'm giving now. Whenever you get asked by your client that why did you show me this place and you are taking me to that place, you explain to them that this is the situation. But for any one of them that is ready to wait till whenever we get the paper, they can wait. The land is there, they will get it. In fact, in all our estates, I think that's the largest we have as an estate. About 500 acres of land. Yes. The next that is closer to that is the Hilltop. Look about 250 acres, 255 acres. So the land is there. For anyone that's still like, I don't want that place, I want this place, they should wait. But mind you, it will be that same thing. Some of them will not mind. They will add up. You understand? So that's that on the phase two. Phase one, we have some pending allocation. Those people that started then. So I'm trying to see if we can we will not be able to accommodate all of them, but we accommodate sizable numbers of them because right now the value of that place is about 5 million now, right? 5 million. Yeah? Yes. So those people that invested then, they have every right to reap from their investments. The house that was sold for 7.5 then is now about 15 million naira. So those people that bought them have every right to enjoy or reap the return of their investments. So, like I said earlier, we'll be able to accommodate sizable number of them. We see how we serve land. In all our estates, we don't sell everything. And even the houses too. I have some houses there. CEO has, Mr. Odeye has property there. Mr. Kola, our driver, has a property there. And some of you have properties there as well. And we are not selling everything. We have some reserve area there. So far, I don't, except those 4 set of people that we're trying to reallocate. Because what we have done with that project is to add value to that project. 2 things enhance property anywhere in the whole world. The development around the property and the title of that property. If you have a very good, there's a place in Ibadan they show us, they said that it has sea of food. No development around the area. So the sea of food is useless. As in terms of development, I'm not saying sea of food is useless, but the land that has no development, you can't even bring anybody there. They will be scared of kidnappers. Even me too, I went there, I was good. You understand? So that land has no value because there's no meaningful development around the area. I can buy a land. In fact, most of the personal land I have, they don't even have sea of food. Yeah. You know, people think I sea of food. No. Even the sea of food is useless to you, the new owner. Because you still need to go and process consent. Governor, you are paying whatever the original owner has paid, you are paying double of what the original to get your consent. So what I check if I want to buy any land is the land free from acquisition? Is there no torso on the land? No 2 family, maybe your short family and Pious family. fighting over the land. If I see that the land is free, I ban. I cannot take my time to process the CFO so that the CFO will come out in my own name. So people that if the land doesn't have CFO, you must not buy. No, you can buy. It's not compulsory that before you buy a land, the land must have CFO. If the land, even government revokes CFO. Yes, they revoke CFO. In fact, if the CFO, any CFO you have, just check at the there's a column there that says this CFO can be revoked if at the end of the day, they discover that there's a misrepresentation of facts. You understand? It happens. Maybe you got the CFO by the land belongs to so, and you now went to court and you're able to prove beyond reasonable doubt that the original owner of the land, they will notify the court will notify the CFO. So personally, I'm not saying you should go and buy land without CFO. Me, I'm saying because of the knowledge I have, me when I want to buy personal land, I don't really look at for CFO. I look at like, okay, is the land free from acquisition? Is there no trust on it? Does this suit this purpose by which I want to buy? You understand? Yes, like if I get a property on the road now, I'm like, this property, okay, I want to use the property for event center or hotel or cinema. And they said the land does not have title. What is title? Document. And sorry, CFO. You understand? Even survey too is a title. Survey is a title. And you have registered survey and unregistered survey. So you will say reg copy. There's nothing like reg copy. It's registered. Reg. RG copy. Not reg. You understand? Registered copy. See, if you give a surveyor money to process your survey, they do whatever, they now go to the survey office to go and register that survey so that they can have their own copy there. So if government need to do anything on the land, they will call the office, the survey office, to request for your file to enable them to treat your case. You understand? So they will go and register, and there is always a copy. Like those surveyors, by the time they are going to lodge that the copy, sometimes they go with about 4 or 5 surveys. Kegbero survey, Adeola survey, Yemi survey, and survey. So by the time they are giving you the copy with which they register your survey, you can even find that your own name is at number 4. So they just list everybody that was submitted alongside with yours. You now start your own. That's okay, your own is at number 4, you are the 4th person, or the list of survey is submitted to the survey office. You understand? So, I digress from where now? From phase 2. So we're done with phase 1. So to accommodate, try to accommodate sizable number of them that. So yes, phase 1. Some of them might be moved to the extension. So when we get to that bridge, of course, then the area of the housing, we are doing well now to deliver on the houses. You can see that for the past 1 month now, we're getting update of the completed houses that is being dropped on the platform. The original person there was not really doing what he was engaged to do. We had to let him go and bring in new hands. And so far, honestly, they are trying. Just they cannot do better. They can do better and they will do better. I can assure you that. So by December, we are going to round up houses at phase 1. Everybody that paid will be fully allocated by December. All the backlog, everything by December, we are handing off that project. So we're now moving to the next phase, which is infrastructure. Now, from the record, we only have 40 units of 3-bedroom left to be built. And also 45 units of 2-bedroom. For all subscribers, Shayo Island Estate phase 1. And it will be fully completed by December. Fully allocated. So the next thing will now be the infrastructure, which is the drainage. And the drainage is not going gradually now, but because of the rainy season, we don't do much. but to be faster during dry season. So drainage, roads, and some other infrastructures as well. You see, somebody asked that normally they were supposed to do infrastructure before building. It doesn't work like that here. In abroad, if you want to buy a property, in fact, they don't even encourage you to come and buy the property cash. You go on mortgage. It could be, if you have money, you can pay up your mortgage within 15 years. But if you're a regular person or worker, you pay for 25, 30 years. If the house is worth $400,000, that is the worth of the building that you're buying, be it bungalow, duplex, you pay for 30 years. By the time you are completing your payment, you'll be paying almost about $1.2 million. It's for 30 years. Now, what the bank does is that you cannot go directly to the developer. You go through a mortgage arrangement. So they profile you, they look at what, in fact, some people are not even qualified to buy a house in abroad. Some people cannot buy directly by virtue of their status. So they leverage on somebody that has status and have a very good credit. They check your credit. Can you buy this house? Will you be able to pay for this house? They check all that. By the time you pass all those things, they will now recommend you for the house. So you are being recommended, they will now start with maybe 20% down payment. Let's assume the house is $400 in what? So $400,000. So, and your equity contribution is 20%. So you work 20% of the 400,000. You understand? But the bank pays the developer. The bank pays the developer. So the developer is cashing out. So it's now you and the bank to complete your payment. Mind you, the house is $400,000. But by the time you are completing your payment for that 30 years, you'll be paying about $1.2 million. Now, if I want to build a house as a developer, or I want to work on the project as a developer, and bank wants to finance the project, right? Now, the worth of the project is $400,000. But I look at my infrastructures. My infrastructure will go up about, let's say, that is per building now, will go up, let's say, $1,500. Are you getting it? 1,500 plus 400,000. That's now, if bank is financing, because bank is financing me, I can get the infrastructure money first from the bank. Are you getting it? Then I move into the site to start working on infrastructures, roads, drainages, and electricity. Because bank is financing, and I know that if the project costs me or takes me 6 months, once I'm done with that project, I'm cashing out. Bank is giving me my money. If my return on investment is just 20-25%, I'm fine. Then I'll move on to another site. Do you get that? But here, no bank finance you. It's either you go and sell your car to start, but you have somebody that trusts you. Okay, fine, we are taking this 1.5, go and start. That is why you have a lot of off-plan arrangements in Nigeria. And some people, they will start the off-plan, and by the time because there's a saying in Yoruba that says, I don't know who will help me to translate that in English. Mr. Oduye, are you here? Yeah. You will help out that Mr. Oduye will lie so that you will write. Comfort comfort applicable to a third party is also applicable to me. Anyway, so what some people do is that they've got what's it called? For the off plan now, people pay them as they are working on projects. These who wants to ride Range Rover or G-Wagon. You understand? You go and buy G-Wagon or buy Range Rover. People's money that they were supposed to use for the projects. And now they want to get mobile policemen just to show that they've arrived. They run into trouble. That's why you see so many abandoned projects, so many cases in court. You understand? So here, there's no bank support for real estate business, especially at this level at which we play. So now, what we do, the focus is for all clients that are paying, our priority is how to deliver their houses. Because I won't say because Mr. Pius is coming from abroad. He's a very thorough person. He doesn't like, he had paid me for the house. And Mr. Deli also paid. Because I want to impress Mr. Because I want to impress Mr. Pius, I'll now use Mr. Deli's money to go and fix infrastructure. So that when Mr. Pius gets to the site, he will be happy that there is road, there is this, there. So Mr. Deli now, Mr. Pius is happy with his building. Mr. Deli now come to like, where is my house? And I say, Mr. Deli, sorry, we have used your money to do infrastructure for Mr. Pius. Does it make sense? It doesn't make sense. So that's why the focus is we deliver the houses first. And mind you, once you key into the payment arrangement for the house, your money can never be increased except you default in payment. That is when you'll be upgraded to the current selling price. But if you keep to the terms of payment, if we started the project by 5 million, even if the project gets to 10 million, and it's within that time frame, you are paying that 5 million. It won't increase. But if you default in payment, because the mortgage I talked about the other time in abroad, you don't default. You don't. If you have to pay every month, if ours is on the second, they write you. They write you. On the third, there's an increment. There's a certain percentage that they will add. If you were to pay 30th and you did not pay, second, they will write you. Third, there's a percentage. Fourth, there's a percentage. Fifth, there's a percentage. And at the point, they take their decision. But most of our people in abroad, they know all these things. But because this is Nigeria, anything goes. They want to, try it on us and just, But
sorry, sir. What you just said now about ArcView policy that when you are meant to pay at a stipulated time, that if there's any increment or whatever does not affect, can you come again? Because we have some clients that are even online with us. They need to hear you again, sir.
Okay, yes. So I said, if you key in, if you subscribe to any of our products, especially the houses, and we are keeping to the payment plan, like maybe, okay, you have 12 months to pay. You have 12 months to pay. Can I go on?
Yes,
so you have 12 months to pay. And it is stated that you make your monthly payment and you are keeping to that payment. During that period, let's assume you key in at 5 million and you have 12 months to pay. And because by increment of prices of building material, we decide, because we don't just wake up one day and increase the price. The market dictates what happens. Now, as we speak now, a bag of cement is 5,000 naira plus. Like when we started, we were buying cement for 1,800. Now, we won't say because we are a good company, we want people to like ArcView. will now be running at loss. So we need to mark it up. Even if we are not making profit, we just need to deliver. So if you keep to the terms of payment, the price increments will not affect you. So if it is 5 million, it's 5 million. But the developmental levy is subject to review. And the market controls that. Okay, somebody that started a 3-bedroom of, let's say, 7.5 million naira, and they were paying. As at the time when we started the project, the bag of cement was, let's say, 2,000 naira, and they were to pay for 3 years. At the end of the first year, prices of cement goes to, let's say, 2,500. You cannot increase the price of the house. Like you are paying on installment. You are not done with the payment of your of the house. So you can't be talking of developmental levy. You understand? But some of our clients are so smart. In fact, I love some of them. There is one that said, okay, let me just pay this money is for developmental. The Bible says a wise man foresees evil and hide himself. The man was so smart. Just okay, how much is the developmental? The man just paid the developmental and he continues with the installment, the housing, whatever. You understand? So he escaped. Now, when we started, let's say bag of cement was 2,000. By the time we are running up the project, the bag of cement had gone to 5,000. How do you expect us as a company to deliver infrastructure on that project with the price of 2,000 naira per bag of cement? It's not feasible. And the same thing goes to coal. In fact, when we started Bluestone, we were buying electricity pole for 35,000. In fact, there was a guy that even gave me discount because I was buying about 100. The guy gave me for 30,000. Now today is 90,000 naira per pole. That's how many percentage increment. Just look at that. So when we're talking, you see, and there's no way we can work on the infrastructure, without delivering the houses, because the primary focus is for all the clients to get their houses. So the focus is let's deliver all the houses. Once we deliver all the houses, then we can now start taking the infrastructure one after the other. So that's that.
Okay, sorry, sir. Because of the time, we still need to bring you up again, but because of the time, we need to go straight to the question and answer. You realize that most of these things you need to come back again based on the question that because you're already reaching to all our questions. Sir.
Okay, so let me Idera, Goat City, Akodo. There's no issue. No issue. Okay. We were at Akodo last week. So the grass has grown. There's water everywhere. So practically, we cannot do anything right now except the water goes down. You live there. You guys are swimming in, so except the majorly. But we are working in Idera. I saw you did a video there. So we are working, we are building. As we speak now, we have 4 units of the duplexes going on. Then we have about 5 of the bungalows going as well. I want to see, because we'll be in London next month, there's a carnival, and ArcView is sponsoring the carnival. If you have a client that you've been trying to talk to, and they are in UK, for some reason they have not been able to see you directly and ask you certain questions, we'll share the link. They can join us over there. I'll be there by God's grace. In another, that's 23rd of next month. No, 13th of next month. So I'll be there. So the ArcView is sponsoring the carnival, and the popular, one of the popular DJ in the UK is hosting the carnival, so they can come around. So I want to make sure we push that project to a certain level, because the majority of people in diaspora, they like Lekki. In fact, 80% of them want to live in that area. So that project is specifically for people in abroad. So I want to push the project to a certain level, to an appreciable level before 30th of next month, so that people can get to see meaningful development at the site.
Sorry, sir. I know you say you actually finished the project before
infrastructure.
Yes.
My take is that since we want to first of all deliver houses before infrastructure, on our entrance in Idera, I think it needs that visible look, where if at all you take line there or you are doing that video, even I know our project is already ongoing, but at least that gatehouse or that entrance to show that visibility, it makes no sense.
Yes. Thank you very much. You see, I don't know the last time you were there, but I can tell you there's work going on. You see, you have to be strategic when you are doing projects. Majority of people, what they focus on is the gatehouse. They'll just do it and spend millions of naira, massive. But at the site, nothing is happening. You see, to every business there's a model. In ArcView, there's a model we adopt. So some of you that are so sensitive, even if you are able to just, there's something called copy and paste. You understand?
Yes.
We have the model we if I don't look it from the onset, though, by the end of the day, you now say, okay, and now understand. You understand? So we have a model with which we are working with. If you check the vicinity of that gatehouse, you see water everywhere. Practically, we can do nothing. Are you getting it? In fact, we are spending money to push sand towards the gatehouse so that we can access the gatehouse. But instead of waiting for the rain, we have to move into the site to go and do what is start control. That's called common sense, which is not common. So, any other one?
Sorry, sir. Hold on. Let's be organized. Can you call it? So, is it time for question and answer?
Yes.
All right. One after the other. Let's have another person for the question.